Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party, you know what we represent. America, the center, common sense, and streamers galore. So for long-time viewers, this is my 88th episode. Finally changing my wardrobe. I'm not wearing my jacket anymore. Of course, got my Let's Go Brandon t-shirt on from Armstrong and Getty radio show that I listen to here in LA. I think it's might be nationwide. I don't know. It might just be LA. I think it's nationwide, but they got podcasts and all that too. 7:90 a.m. I listen to them because they're conservative, but they're more purple. But usually I'd explain the title of this week's episode, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and we got a lot to unpack, so we're going to jump right into it. So a week ago we had Halloween, and Lauren here, not going to try I don't know the last name. At first I thought she was doing sexy librarian, but she was mocking AOC's dress, as were other people. See, the tax the rich over there, and whatever. Let's go, Brandon. It's just it's a fever, man. It's like the only thing that spreads faster than COVID is Brandon. Let's go, Brandon is a fun, harmless chant that ridicules the ruling class and an out-of-touch president. Nothing wrong with that. The left is now trying to say it's dangerous and offensive after 4+ years of inciting violence against Trump supporters. And there was actual violence towards Trump supporters. Let's not deny that. Let's not forget history. The left is all about history and cleaning up history. So don't forget. There's been ugliness on both sides, but recently, we've seen senior citizens attacked for wearing Trump paraphernalia. We've seen kids attacked. Nobody's really wearing any pro-Biden gear out there, so that's not really a problem. So it's kind of hard to say if, as a country, we cleaned up our act and we stopped harassing people for their political views. I spent most of the week being harassed by my brother because, as we're going to talk about, it was not a great week for the Democrats. It ended okay, I guess, with the infrastructure bill getting passed, the good one, not the bad one, the actual infrastructure bill. But, I'm still attacked because I had my suspicions about the elections. And I said it before the election, and I said that whichever side lost would claim foul, and I was fine with that. And, whatever. So I'm a lunatic because that's what I believed. All right, whatever. More of this, Jason Aldean. I would expect that at a Jason Aldean concert. I just think this Let's Go Brandon thing is really disrespectful, says man wearing an F Trump t-shirt. Let's go, Brandon. Babylon B doing it for us again right there. Hey, that's hypocrisy. I guess hypocrisy is as important as breathing to most people nowadays. I try to avoid it, and I shame myself when I do it. Even the foreign press is getting in on this. Incoherent president. If you ever watch Sky News out of Australia, you'll know what I'm talking about. Other people, other countries, their media does not have a vested interest in pleasing one side or the other in American politics. That's just the way it is. Making some adjustments on the fly here. I don't have a tech crew. Skipping that one. What do you expect out of people when the president utters words about illegal immigrants and says that the families that were separated deserve some kind of compensation? They broke the law. They came into the country. They got caught. The parents were separated because you can't have the kids with the adults in a jail cell. That doesn't make sense. You could put families together, but first you have to, you don't know. You honestly don't know. Unless people have identification and things like that, how are you supposed to know if those are really their kids? How do you know if you're putting the kids in harm's way by allowing them to stay with the parents? What if they're not the parents? I'm not saying they all are. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as an officer, you have to figure that out. You don't want to endanger a child needlessly. So we did our best. I don't understand why they need to be given $500,000. There's people here who deserve that a lot more. I mean, come on. I'm on the side of PETA apparently now because they want Fauci to resign. Because, he was, animal cruelty, really. I mean, he was doing things with puppies that maybe while scientifically necessary, certainly don't sit well with most people. So, as we said earlier, the Democrats ended with a so-called win. But how much of a win is it really when a specific group of your side, the Democratic side, the squad here, I'm not going to waste my time making fun of these people. They do it themselves. They didn't vote for the infrastructure bill. Okay? I understand that some Republicans believe they shouldn't have voted for it, and some Republicans believe they should have voted for it. I understand the strategy behind it. You don't want to look like you're unwilling to do what's right for the American people simply based on politics. And you'll notice that they list on the side there the 13 Republicans who did vote. Because, see, the 6 squad members here, they didn't vote, but the Republicans that did vote made up the difference, and they were able to get it passed, and we might actually start to see some of this. And frankly, I'm glad we're done with the important actual infrastructure bill. Okay? You can argue down in the comments, I wish people would, but, I mean, internet access, electrical grids, water supplies, airports, roads, bridges, public transit. I can see all the good in that. Amtrak, I'll be honest with you, I'm baffled by that. I don't understand the Amtrak thing. I ran out of time before the show doing my research, and I didn't have a chance to get the choo-choo trains. Yeah, but okay, whatever. Biden loves trains, whatever. I mean, it's worth it to get the rest of the stuff done. Because a lot of that stuff, and $12.5 billion for electric vehicles, charging stations, upgrading city buses, stuff like that. Whatever. Out of this $500 billion or $1 trillion or whatever, I don't know what the number is. If they're only wasting $12 billion on electric, great. Let them do it. Okay? It's almost the same thing with the $66 billion for Amtrak. Because, at the top of the list there is internet access. And I put that there because, to me, that is one of the things that's going to benefit the most people in the best way. Really, to be honest with you. Water supply, yes. Electrical grid, yes, too. I'm not saying that they're not as important, but the internet access, to get things to the farmland, to get things to rural areas, tribal areas, we purport to be for everybody. And we need to be there for everybody. That's what our federal government should spend most of its time on doing, is trying to give everybody equal opportunity in life. Not equal results, because that's just stupid. That's never going to work, Giving everybody a C so everybody in the class passes, that's not going to work. But if you don't have internet access, you're cut off from the world nowadays. And, we have people who live in rural areas and tribal areas that aren't as technologically updated as we are here, I mean, I've got blazing internet. It's insanely fast. As somebody who's been there since the early days, man, it's not even close. So, those are things I support. I support most of that. And I don't understand why the Republicans have to get into a bickering war over this particular one. The fight is the other one, the social stuff, the nanny state infrastructure bill. That's what I would call it. That one needs to be defeated. All hands on deck. And if passing this one helps us do it, great. And if it pisses off AOC and Kojak and Oman, great. I don't even know who the other 3 are, but the squad. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, boy. So, the one thing that really lit up my brother and got him talking the most about Trump not accepting the election results was, this whole idea that, oh, why aren't you saying the Virginia election was rigged? Well, first of all, I didn't really think about the Virginia election all that much. It was there, but I kind of thought the results were going to be Democratic. I mean, 10 months ago, everybody turned on Trump, so I really thought everybody was going to say this way. I was shocked as hell. But also, when you got a nutbag like McAuliffe who comes out and says, parents don't have any right to have a say in their kids' education, when he alludes to that kind of crap, you don't need to rig an election. But it went so crazy there, and it went crazy in the best way. The best way. The first black woman ever elected statewide, Winsome Sears, a Republican. The first Latino elected statewide, Jason Miyares. I hope I'm saying that. These are positions of power. These aren't just, like House seats and I'm not belittling people's job here. I'm just saying, like, in terms of the steps ultimately leading to, let's say, the presidency, right? Man, a black woman is the lieutenant governor, and she's a Republican. And we already know what that means, and we're going to get to that because we know what that means. And a Cuban American, man, our country was born back there. Our country had to fight a civil war back there. Virginia is an important, one of the most important cogs that made up the machine of America. And they flipped. They completely abandoned the Democratic Party. And in the process, we have two children of immigrants making it big in America, in politics. Man, that's a great thing, man. That should be celebrated. But, for the most part, the media has taken it a different way. We're going to get to that. But I'm, as much as Virginia doesn't really affect me, I think it's monumental. The three top people, who they represent, what they represent, man, I just can't get this right tonight. I don't script this. So sometimes I start to get a little emotional and I get a little, I get that. For those of you who bear with me, thank you for bearing with me. The media, they like to see it as too close to call. They didn't want to give up the ship. As far as the media is concerned, Youngkin is just Trump, which is what they're going to paint from now on with Republicans. They're just going to, all they've got is Trump, Trump, Trump. Look, that's all they've got. I mean, Biden's gotten a few small victories, but it isn't looking good, dude. McAuliffe blames loss on low 3 a.m. ballot turnout. Yeah, I just like it because I like poking fun at the other side sometimes, and whatever. I don't personally believe it, but here's Winsome, and then right down at the bottom you see that the reason this is media people speaking, the reason that the Republicans won was race baiting BS. No, it's the opposite of that. Critical race theory is the race baiting. Critical race theory is the ones who make all white people racist, deny other people's issues, make black people the victim. No, we don't need that. We don't need that shit. We don't need to explain to children that there's differences. They can see there's fucking differences, man. The whole purpose of the argument should be to try to make people see the similarities, not the differences. Wow. See, a guest on MSNBC. This is who you go to for news, and they put people like this on. There is a black mouth moving, but a white idea running on the runway of the tongue. So, what kind of sentence structure is that? It's stupid. But that pisses me off. that's how some black people in this country feel right now about this. Instead of celebrating this woman's accomplishments, the daughter of Jamaican immigrants, immigrated here from Jamaica herself, went to the Marine Corps, to serve this country. And she's the first black woman in Virginia's history. Boom. Ceiling-shattering, groundbreaking. But no. It's all about white supremacy. Right there, some sports reporter, blames white supremacy. Weird kind of white supremacy. Really is. I'm very confused by this, that they are allowed to essentially say that Winsome Sears is a self-hating black woman. I kind of find that to be a little bit bullshit. Like, come on, we have to rise above this. We're going to see some stuff later on in the show that's the same way. We're like, come on, we have to draw a line. Okay? There has to be a realistic line. You're supporting causes like BLM, and you're allowing people to say things like this? Ben Shapiro has summed it up really great. Condolences to Virginia on becoming radically racist again, according to the media, by electing a black female lieutenant governor and a Cuban-American attorney general, rejecting racial existentialism in schools and replacing a Dem governor who actually wore an actual KKK outfit. And he did. Whatever his name was, Northrop, I don't know, Northwest, South by Southwest, I don't know. But that's what the media and the left is about right now. That's what they're about. They're literally about even a black woman, if she's a Republican, she is a racist. They're essentially saying if you're black, you have to be a Democrat or you will be hated. Like, I don't understand how people don't see that as racist. That you must think a certain way. Right? I mean, for example, if you made a joke saying that a certain group was good at math, okay, that's unacceptable. They're good at math. Ooh, that's sort of positive, but even the idea that you're assigning that to an entire group is wrong. Okay, great. All right, I can live with it. Those rules make sense. So how is the shit that they're saying? I don't get it. I don't understand how that's okay. I mean, Larry Elder called it right off the bat. Meet the new blackface of white supremacy. Because Larry Elder, who ran for governor here in California against Gavin Newsom, I couldn't remember what my nickname for the guy was. He ran against him and he was labeled that way. Remember, it wasn't too long ago, Snoop Dogg put out the whole Coon Squad thing, man. They have no problem being racist when it suits them. And what did she say? There are some who want to divide us, and we must not let that happen. See, they're trying to tell you right now that in Virginia they are not teaching CRT. No, they're gearing up for it. And that's what these different candidates were running against. That they don't want to divide us. They don't want us to start off every conversation by checking the color of somebody's skin. What kind of shit is that, man? What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that to put into people's heads? Look, all I know is from what I've heard and from what I've been able to find, CRT does not include MLK. And if you are not including Martin Luther King Jr. in any discussion about race, then you're off on the wrong foot right there. Okay? And if you want to bring up his faults, bring them up. Don't care. All right? He was working for a world where everybody was united. Okay? These people don't want that. The Democrats don't want that. They want people at each other's throats so that they can be the savior for one side. All right? And if you want to echo back that the Republicans do that, that's bullshit. Okay? They don't. All right? Some of their supporters might believe in that kind of crap, But Republicans are not trying to lead us in that direction. Why? Because they're not trying to divide school children over race. Terry McAuliffe baffled that telling parents the state owns their children wasn't a winning strategy. Hey, that's what I'm saying. You know, just look at this one. This is from Bronco. Let's go, Brandon. I love that he added that. You know, like boom, just it's like kicking somebody when they're down, I guess. But it's a battle, man. Like, if you really believe that it's right, or if you really believe that it's wrong, like I do, then this is something worth fighting over. It really is. Oh God, that wasn't good. There we go. We'll try that. You know, I love you guys. It is something worth fighting over, okay? Because it's Marxist 101 to put up something like critical race theory and say that it's anti-racist, but it's hard. It is racist. But if somebody opposes CRT, they are the racist. See, the people who oppose it don't want people being divided by the color of their skin. They don't want the conversation to be about who's evil and who's oppressed. Okay? We're supposed to be Americans, first and foremost. So if it's good for one, it's good for all. This is the way I look at it. You know? And surprise, I voted for Trump. But that's what the fight's really about. That some of us view it as completely racist. Whatever. We'll move on. I love this one. Before they shut down the Twitter account for McAuliffe, the social media manager tweeted out to Confederate country, go yourselves. I also like the one below it, that soldiers of one of the top military is subjecting them to things that put their lives in danger. Oh man, what is this? This is the Army Combat Elite Divers. And they're like, I mean, I get it. Like, if something, it's just the headline itself, man, is hilarious because these people are putting themselves in some dangerous situations even by signing up. This is about Democrats used to think that a huge turnout would mean that they were going to win. Black officials are saying, don't blame us. Because they are. I mean, you kind of see by this one that I'm inserting here. You know, this lady's basically saying, hey, if they're going to vote that way, why let them vote? Dear moderates, the left isn't why McAuliffe lost Virginia. That's why they lost Virginia. Because their fake ballots were stuck in a harbor in L.A. No, that's a joke. But no, they really play into the whole fear-mongering over CRT. And again, you should see the Marxist tactics in that. That people deem something to be unnecessary, racist, and harmful to children and say, no, we don't want that. And then they say, well, by you not wanting that, you must want white supremacy. No. It's the exact opposite. The exact opposite. I want racial harmony. But that's not what these people think. And they think that it's all about that Biden hasn't gotten this big social bill and all of that. Now, I don't even buy these numbers, to be honest with you. Where is that one? Yeah, right here, the 71% and all. I don't believe that because most people think the country is going in the wrong direction. And I think that they're talking about some of these overreaching social agendas. Read that for a second. I need water. All right. So dead air there for a second. Yeah, doing a great job. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, kid. You know, the same people who wrote this article, by the way, right here, from the Daily Beast, whatever. Their next one was, desperate and deranged DeSantis. Not showing any bias with that kind of title. By the way, down at the bottom there, what is it? Something like $5 million. He set up a $5 million anti-drug initiative. because we have to do something. We can't have kids getting onto fentanyl and this new meth that's out there. This conservative pundit from CNN, which I don't know. I didn't know CNN let conservatives on. But anyhow, she says it's pretty simple why they lost Virginia, because they pissed off the wrong people. They did. They pissed off parents. They pissed off women. They pissed off the people who they have in their back pocket. The people who haven't yet seen how evil they really are. AOC says that it was because they weren't progressive enough. Right. Because how's that turning out? Okay, people are seeing through this overly overreaching whole progressive idea. People are seeing the true cost. Okay? Yeah, really quick on this one. Just in case you didn't know, part of their social experiment, nanny state infrastructure bill, includes money to go to schools, whether those schools are in a church or not. But, if the money goes to a church that has a school, the church is not allowed to spend any of that money doing anything with an actual place of worship. Right there. So, you're attacking the churches with this by saying that they can't use it however they see fit. I mean, how about just a little love for the churches? I mean, you specifically say they can't fix the church portion of it. I sort of get why you might put that in there, but then again, why would you put it in there? I mean, it makes sense from your perspective. I see it, but poppycock. Really cool. Oh, God. Democrats pretending to be racist, saying they're voting for young kid with the tiki torches, blah, 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 blah. They're starting to wonder if they're on the wrong side of history. Yes, you are. Okay? This progressive plan is not going to work. False flag. Democrats pose as white nationalists supporting young kid. See? That's what I was trying to say. That's fun. Dems announced plan to call people racist even harder. Because that's all that is really all they have left. Okay? That is, I mean, we're seeing in President Biden, we're seeing this progressive agenda unfold, this laissez-faire. What's going on with the border? And not only are you allowing people to stream across the border, you're not forcing them to get vaccinated, and now you want to give some of them $500,000. Like I said earlier, this is all they have. GOP are racist. One trick pony. See? Right there. Proud black woman who's a Republican. She retains a lot of centralist views. Not all Republicans are all the way to one side. Just like moderate Democrats. You admit that there's a far left progressives, moderate Democrats. How about moderate Republicans? I mean, I guess that's what I am. Insiders say Biden really crapping his pants over Dem election losses. They voted, the log jam. This is really quick right here. California outlawed independent contracting, and most of the truckers are independent contractors. The ports require you to have a newer truck. If you don't have one, you have to lease one from the trucking company. They're stripping away the independence of truckers. That's really one of the things that's happening here. You're really making trucking completely a job nobody wants. I mean, it's bad enough you have to drive in all the traffic in and out of these cities. I can only imagine. I do it every day, man. I log tens of thousands of miles every year, okay? So I know how much it sucks to drive in LA. But, if you only have to drive for 4 days and then you get 3 days off, or 3 days and 4 days off, whatever, if you can make that kind of money doing long haul or whatever it is, that's what people want to do. They want to have their independence. If they want to take a week off, they take a week off. So we had this stupid ass conference over in Scotland, and China doesn't show up. Russia wasn't there. This one's funny. I find this funny that they had all those jets, but at the same time, it's like, well, how else were they going to get there? It's not like they were going to come on horseback. It's not like they were going to carpool their planes. I mean, come on. But it does make you wonder why they didn't do a teleconference. I mean, there's a thing called Zoom. He was asleep, but of course, Psaki says he was meditating. Oh, God. Watch this. There you go. Biden wakes up from the strangest dream that he was attending International Climate Conference. What did Greta think about it? Well, she told them to shove it up their ass. Because they're not coming through on anything. Here's a quick one. This is, I guess, a palate cleanser, an interlude. Boy, this could be a long one. I'm sorry. Zuckerberg personally oversaw the censorship in Vietnam, claiming that he would lose, I don't even know. $1 billion in annual revenue if he had a shutdown in Vietnam. So let him censor away. And they arrested some dude as part of the Steele dossier, I like how B summed it up. Hillary Clinton tried to prove Trump was colluding with Russians by colluding with Russians. That was a good one. Colin Kaepernick. I got to go. Comparing the NFL players to slaves. And he was running his mouth this week. Masvidal right here. Not exactly pleased with Colin's words. I'm just going kind of quick here because, oh boy. Nike arranged a special screening of Kaepernick documentary for Igar concentration camps. He's talking about the evils of slavery while working for a company that uses slave labor. Okay. I'm so old that I can remember when most of the people promoting race hate were white. Yeah, talk about like people like Joy Reid and the people who were saying the vile, disgusting stuff about Winsome. Oh yeah, I just found this week. Tommy Chong had this quote in there. But Trump did one of the most meaningful marijuana laws we've ever had, at least allowing hemp and CBD to be freed up so it could be studied. Anecdotally, it does great. I don't know what it really... More palate cleansing. Liberal scientists can prove climate change is real. They can't even tell the difference between boys and girls. That's savage. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, just until we have a vaccine. And just until 70% of us are vaccinated. Just until nobody ever dies again. That's what it feels like. Here's Zuckerberg with his new Meta, make everything Trump again. Yes. But yeah, we're continuing along with firing firemen and medics and police officers and nurses. It's doing really. It's going along swimmingly, isn't it? That dude's mustache is fucking so badass, dude. That's a Magnum PI stash right there. Elon Musk is going to give $6 billion to the UN if they allow the public to see how the money is spent. Oh, man. The way it's wasted. The way... So with Thanksgiving coming up, let's thank Kelly Stavas for the wonderful gift of Let's Go Brandon. There you go. Oh, that was awkward as frick, man. But here was the best one of the night. Let's go, Brandon. The big Sammy truck just running over the donkey that's woke. Stop, no right turn. I love the license plate awake. Because, you know what? Nowadays, to be honest with you, I think the Republicans are more awake. Okay? Because we are seeing one side fight against overreaching mandates, overreaching government, and critical race theory, which in my opinion is racist as hell. And if you are going to fight as hard as one side is fighting to end something that would just rip off the scab of racism in this country and just shred any chance we have of uniting for years to come, it's the Republicans. And so I guess Republicans are the woke ones now. I don't know. Feels good though. Copious out.